Tony Stark and Emma Frost, the latter using her Hazel Kendall alias, have arrived at Oahu, Hawaii for their honeymoon. By day, they partake in holiday activities to keep up appearances. Once they return to their suite by sundown, Tony suits up with the Iron Man armor model Mill. Emma stays behind in the room, wearing sunglasses that let her see through Stark's HUD. With the real reason they chose Hawaii being its proximity to Krakoa, Iron Man takes off to do something regarding Mysterium, despite Emma's disapproval. Tony submerges and travels underwater until he reaches the shores of Krakoa, which is being besieged by Stark Sentinels. Since he can completely cloak the model Mill but not its propulsion exhaust, Tony treks his way through the Hellfire Bay to the White Palace. Once inside, Emma guides Tony to her room, where she had held onto a sample of Mysterium that was meant to be turned into gifts by Forge. On his way there, Tony stumbles into and sneaks past a trio of Orcus operatives, which include a super-smart gorilla. Tony decloaks after getting into the walk-in closet where a trunk containing the Mysterium is, unwittingly exposing himself to the Orcus gorilla, who had followed an anomalous reading on a spectrometer to Tony's location. The gorilla blindsides Iron Man and they trade blows, as Tony tries to convince his opponent that he is not Tony Stark. Iron Man fires a repulsor ray to cave in the ceiling above the gorilla, but extends his hand to help him. However, the simian swats Tony away and is crushed to death. Stark turns his attention back to the trunk and confirms that the Mysterium is inside. He also notices a memory book from Emma's daughters, the Stepford Cuckoos, and offers Emma to take it for her, but she turns it down dejectedly. Fully cloaked again, Iron Man strolls past the remaining Orcus forces with the trunk on his shoulder as he leaves the White Palace. A shadowed figure observes him from inside the building. Tony and Emma return to the Hellfire Club in Manhattan. After playing possum some more, Tony retreats to his secret laboratory, located behind a trap door in one of the bondage rooms of the mansion. Stark has used the fabricator stolen from Stain International to reshape the Mysterium into a cane, and decides to test it. He takes it to Captain Marvel at the Jarvis Lounge, and she can't even bend it a little, much to her confusion. Tony next visits the Sanctum Sanctorum, where the cane is similarly impervious to being atomized or even levitated by Doctor Strange. Tony also leaves the memory book for safekeeping with Steven. Finally, Tony shines an electro-silhouetted spotlight into the sky, dubbing it the Sinister Signal, to get Spider-Man's attention on a rainy rooftop. When the web-slinger agrees to partake in Tony's experiment and closes his eyes, Stark hits him in the shin with the cane. Spider-Man's pique turns into surprise when he realizes the cane didn't trigger his spider sense. Realizing the full potential of Mysterium, Tony overlooks the Stark Sentinels as they fly through the city. He ensures Spider-Man that he is planning a counterattack on Phylong and Orcus.